The end of episode 2 saw us arrive in the beautiful seaside town of Beaumaris. So let's go and check out our hotel.
He said it was small, so good job we're not 6'3" tall, isn't it? But you know,
it's got floor space for stuff.
Floor space. Look at we're kind of.
But the best thing of all, darling, is the sea view.
Sea view. Look, folks. Ta-da! Sea view.
Just between.
But I'm ahead. Not often people tell me that. I always wanted to be really tall. So this is the oh yes, tasteful pink, very 70s. And they show. But it's only for one night, and they've got an award-winning chef.
They have.
So we'll check that out later on.
Beaumaris is noted for having excellent shopping and independent traders, but it's probably most famous for its castle. If you're visiting Beaumaris, it's obviously a must-see. The castle is a United Nations World Heritage Site and was constructed between 1295 and 1330.
Very good. Yeah.
Don't call us, we'll call you.
It was the last of the royal strongholds created by Edward I in Wales, and some say perhaps it was his masterpiece. It was due to be the last of his iron ring of castles constructed in his bid to control the Welsh, which by the way he failed miserably to do. He'd already constructed the great castles of Conwy, Carnarvon and Harlech. This was to be his crowning glory, the castle to end all castles. The result was a fortress of immense size and near perfect symmetry, but unfortunately lack of money and trouble brewing in Scotland meant the building work had petered out by the late 1320s. So instead of focusing on dominating Wales, he went north to become the hammer of the Scots, and failed at that too.
We are folks in Beaumaris, and we're off to sample some local ales. Night of Dragon's Breath, perfect.
An historic pub with brilliant beer. What could be better? But now, time for dinner.
We have an award-winning chef in this hotel. Consistently wins rosettes every year. And this is what you have in bed?
Mussels in a cream and white wine sauce.
What do you like?
Amazing.
And I'm going for a sweet potato and pepper soup, which is delicious. Surely to be washed down by a bottle of Malbec.
Beef bourguignon.
Which is fantastic. And I've gone for lamb rump. And it tastes as good as it looks.
Oh,
Look at
wow.
me.
It looks fantastic. Anyway.
After an excellent meal, we thought it was time for a leisurely stroll down to the pier.
Always good when you get a nice, gentle, balmy breeze.
So if you're staying in the Betws-Y-Coed House Hotel in Beaumaris, what can you expect?
The Betws-Y-Coed House Hotel was about as central as it was possible to be. It was close to the castle, sea and local shops and restaurants. The receptionist describing our accommodation as our tiny room rang a few warning bells for us when we checked in. They did say that if we'd booked direct, we could have been informed that it was in the eaves. Neither of us are especially tall, so we actually managed okay, but the lack of standing room and the tiny shower and loo space would definitely be a problem for anyone taller. Clearly recognised for its food, the meal didn't disappoint. There's a good choice of probably mid-range price dishes, and we'd recommend anyone to stop off for dinner there. There was a choice of hot and cold breakfast included in the price. The staff were polite and helpful, and there was an open car park around the back of the building and fairly well hidden from view. A good place to stay, except if you're 6'2" and you get the tiny room.
Well, good morning folks. It's Friday morning in Beaumaris in Anglesey, and as you can see it's a bit of a grey, drizzly, wet and windy Beaumaris, to be honest. And we are just about to set off. We've come to the end of our Wales 360 tour, and today we are heading through Snowdonia. First stop, hopefully, the very famous Pen-Y-Gwryd Hotel near Mount Snowdon. So we'll check in when we get there.
The official Wales 360 route would take you to Conway along the North Wales Expressway, but we decided to take a more scenic option. Our route was going to take us through the beautiful Llanberis Pass for a stop at the famous Pen-Y-Gwryd Hotel and hopefully grab a coffee before we wend our way via Betws-Y-Coed through Snowdonia to our final destination of Bala and Placindre Hotel. Our return journey to the mainland took us over the Menai suspension bridge. It was designed by Thomas Telford and completed in 1826. It was also the world's first major suspension bridge and is still a Grade 1 listed structure. Nowadays, the village of Llanberis is a major tourist attraction. If the thought of actually walking up Snowdon is terrifying to you, you can actually catch a train to the top of the highest mountain in England and Wales, over 3,500 feet, on the Snowdon Mountain Railway. The Llanberis Pass is a fantastic ride. It runs for just over 5 miles from the village of Llanberis at the bottom to Pen-Y Pass at the top. Like all great roads, if you can get it on a quiet day, it's even more fun.
Wow, how quickly the weather here can change. One minute you're baking in the sun, the next your head's in the clouds.
The historic Pen-Y-Gwryd Hotel is the actual place that Edmund Hillary and Lord Hunt trained in 1953 before they summited Everest. It subsequently became and remains a place of pilgrimage for mountaineers from all over the world. Sadly for us, COVID restrictions meant we couldn't get in to get a coffee.
While we stopped for a stretch, we bumped into two great guys who were clearly far more deserving of a break than we were.
Where are you from? Where are you going to?
So we started off at Chamonix today. Luckily we live between the UK and Chamonix in France. We're heading up to the Pen-Y-Gwryd Pass, hopefully summit Snowdon and by foot, and then pick the bike up and carry on to Llanberis. The total trip's got to be about 36 miles.
Have a great trip.
Alright, thank you.
Betws-Y-Coed is North Wales' most popular inland tourist resort, and it's a great base to explore the delights of Snowdonia and the surrounding areas. The downside is, of course, it does get extremely busy during the peak summer months.
So we're in a very busy Betws-Y-Coed, just stopped for a quick coffee on the way to Bala. Luckily we managed to find one free parking space. So now, let's go and get a coffee. Looks like we're not the only ones.
Have never been clearer. I see what you're doing to me now.
The last time we travelled these roads we had glorious sunshine. I guess this was a reminder not to get complacent when riding high up in the mountains. You're certainly going to get some changeable weather at some point. Now you see him?
The better tomorrows.
Now you don't.
For you, I'd make it a rainbow. I think I will be holding on to the one thing that I know is stronger. Love is blind and no one's perfect. Platinum seems so shallow, 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 shallow. But you are bright white gold. With you by my side, I'm not worried. I think we'll be able to find ourselves again. Blank expressions, empty words. Nothing can keep me away from you. I think I will be holding on to the one thing that I know is stronger. Love is blind and no one told us. Platinum seems so shallow, 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 shallow. But you were bright white gold. The one thing that I know is stronger. Love is blind and no one told us. Platinum seems so shallow, 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 shallow. But you were bright white gold.
We're here in Bala, folks, and as you can see, it's pretty grey and damp. We are after a short coffee break in Betws-Y-Coed. We thought it was going to be a short bimble across to Bala. It turned out to be a very challenging ride through the clouds. But anyway, tomorrow it's going to be a heat wave, which is great because we're obviously heading away home. But anyway, we're here in Bala again at the Blaenau Hotel. Well, here we are. I think it's called a deluxe double, but it was a nice, it looks like it's refurbished, nice big spacious bed, which is great. A fan should we need it, although pretty grey and miserable out there at the moment. This is nice, clean shower area. Yeah, it looks like a nice room actually. So, what do you think of the ride today?
Well, it was character building, I would say. Being able to see more than 20 metres ahead would have been really nice.
It was,
But it's all good for the riding skills.
yeah, character building.
A bit damp.
But anyway, we survived, we're here, and we're going to check out the delights of Bala.
Sadly, the weather stopped us checking out the delights of Bala, but we did find this in the library.
Located on the main street through Bala, the Blaenau is in a good spot with easy access to the town centre. The room was clean and comfortable with a good bathroom and adequate room for all our stuff. The meal was outstanding, good, simple food, really well cooked and reasonably priced, and the service was fine. When we arrived, it was good to find that we had our own designated and named parking spaces in a secure car park hidden from the main street. If you're staying in Bala, it's a great place to stop.
What a glorious day. What a difference to yesterday. So this is our final day in Wales. We've officially, from Bala to Bala, completed the Wales 360. So today, although it's still part of our trip, we're heading off for our final stopover to the beautiful town of Ludlow.
So we had a couple of hours ride, and I googled an ideal coffee stop which was about halfway between Bala and Ludlow. So our first stop was going to be Moo's Coffee Bar.
I'm not heading for the stars, driving down the boulevard at night. Playing Coldplay on repeat, watching people on the street as I go by. And it doesn't even matter to me where I go, I just feel I need to take a ride. Got my coffee cup to go, and I'm gonna hit the road tonight.
Another fantastic opportunity to ride the brilliant B4391
Now my
road.
wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go. Turn up the stereo in a place I didn't know till now. In a different part of town, I see new colors as the sun goes down. No, it doesn't even matter to me where I go. Just feel I need to take a ride. I don't know when I'll get back. Keep on going and relax tonight. Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go. I'm not heading for the stars, driving down this boulevard tonight. Yeah. Playing Coldplay on repeat, watching people on the street as I go by. Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go.
On our way to Ludlow coffee stop here at Moo's.
While we're enjoying our coffee and cakes at Moo's, I couldn't help but notice a couple packing up a Morgan sports car. So, ever curious, had to go and check it out.
I think my wife would agree with you on that one. Are you on a tour or something?
No, we've just been all around North Wales.
Really?
Yeah, I see you did the NC 500. We did that last year in this.
Oh. They've done the North Coast 500 in this.
Have you really? How fantastic.
So you've done the North Coast 500 and you've done Wales as well now.
We went to the Isle of Skye.
Look at this, proper Morgan.
It's like being on a biker.
This is only a 1.8 litre Ford.
Well, as much as I love a classic Morgan, I love my bike more. Ludlow is an historic market town in Shropshire. The poet John Betjeman once described it as England's finest town, and Country Life magazine described it as England's finest market town. It also has a well-deserved reputation for food and for producing award-winning bakers and chefs. The town has more listed buildings than anywhere else of the same size in the UK. And of course, it has its own medieval castle, but more about that later. What a beautiful day's riding, folks. We finally arrived at our final destination. We wanted to stay in the town of Ludlow on the way back, and unfortunately all the hotels were full. So we ended up just outside Ludlow in a place called Dinham, and a hotel called the Cliff at Dinham. Glorious day. We're going to go and explore Ludlow in a minute, but first of all, let's check out the hotel. Room number 1. Well, as you can see, very spacious, big king-size bed. Lovely room, actually. What do you think?
It's lovely, spacious, lots of space for our stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I think this is called a superior king-size. And if you look over there, you can just spot Ludlow Castle, which is where we're heading very soon. So let's check out bathrooms. Yes. Yeah, all in all, lovely room. Lovely and cool. It's going to be a really hot one. Anyway, let's go and explore.
I found my heart again. You were standing there, you bravely led me in. I could wait 1,000,000 years or more until you came knocking at my door. It's hard to be this real. We can play our favorite song, dancing to it all night long. With you I feel something, 'cause we're both so unashamed. We're not playing any games. I found a star in you.
There we are, folks. Ludlow Castle. And a gorgeous, hot, sunny day. The castle is one of the finest medieval ruins in England. It became a crown property in 1461 and remained a royal castle for the next 350 years. It was initially a Norman fortress and extended over the centuries to become a fortified royal palace, originally built to hold back the unconquered Welsh.
So that was the castle, folks, and now we're going to wander back to the hotel, download today's footage, and more importantly, it'll be beer o'clock. Beer o'clock at the cliff at Dinham. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, now that's a good IPA. Neck oil.
I think in terms of the riding, because of the weather, I think the riding's been the best day today. I think we've done some great roads, and I think we did some great roads yesterday. The problem is we couldn't see them because it was about 10 metres visibility. But the skies were blue today and it was warm, and actually there was relatively little traffic on the road, on the back roads, on the B roads that we were on, so the riding was fantastic. And then getting to Ludlow in good time and being able to wander around the castle. So it was really nice to be able to finish the trip off. Great day's riding, a nice hotel and a nice wander around Ludlow.
This is what you like. Creamy cauliflower soup.
Brilliant. Looking good. The cliff at Dinham was a very nice place. It's about a 10-minute hilly walk to Ludlow Castle and maybe a further 5 minutes to the town centre where there's plenty of shops and lots of places to eat. It was a decent location for us, but maybe not so convenient for anybody with mobility difficulties. Our room was spacious and bright with a great bathroom and views over the countryside. We did think that the hotel's claims that it had castle views were a bit of a stretch. As you can see, the food and drink were really pretty good. A little more on the expensive side, and it didn't quite get full marks only because we'd been very lucky this trip and had had some really outstanding meals. The service was fine, and the parking, while not secure, was in a private car park. Overall, a really nice place to stay. So that was our last stop, a sunny evening in glorious Ludlow. And now we're off back to Bedfordshire, where we understand there's a heat wave.
So, happy days.